You know, there's a part in your engine that works harder than almost anything else, but it gets none of the glory. Nope, it's not the pistons and it's not the turbo. Today, we're going to find the true heart of your engine.
Okay, so when you think about what makes an engine powerful, what pops in your head? Pistons, right? Maybe the turbo. But what if I told you the single most vital part is something you probably never ever think about?
Yup, the oil pump. It is the literal heart of your engine, silently pumping its lifeblood day in and day out. And for the next few minutes, we're going to see exactly why if this heart stops beating, well, the whole show is over.
And look, calling it a matter of life or death for your engine, that is not an exaggeration. This tiny part is in a constant, brutal battle against the three things that are always trying to kill your engine: friction, heat, and all kinds of nasty contamination.
I mean, the reality here is just stark. This isn't some slow decline we're talking about. It's a catastrophic, incredibly rapid failure. An engine without oil circulating is like a body without blood flow. Literally, within minutes, it's game over. So what exactly is this circulation doing? What's the point? Well, the oil pump sends that lifeblood out on four absolutely vital missions. First, it lubricates everything to fight that nasty friction. Second, it cools everything down by carrying away intense heat. Third, it actually cleans the engine by filtering out harmful gunk. And finally, it protects, creating this microscopic barrier that stops metal from literally welding itself together.
All right, so how does this little mechanical heart actually pull off this incredible feat? How does it create a whole circulatory system for your engine, getting oil from a puddle at the very bottom all the way to every single moving part at the very top?
Well, it's all part of this constant four-step loop. Step one is the pickup. Oil gets sucked up from the oil pan through a little screen to catch any big junk. Step two, pressurization. A set of internal gears or rotors grabs that oil and squeezes it. Step three, distribution. That high-pressure oil is then forced through the oil filter and into the engine's main arteries, which are called oil galleries. And finally, it reaches every critical part before it just flows back down to the pan to start the whole journey all over again. And to give you an idea of the sheer workload we're talking about, get this. When you're really pushing it at high RPM, a modern oil pump can move up to 30 liters of oil every minute. That is like taking one of those big office water coolers and just emptying the whole thing in under a minute, all from a part that fits in the palm of your hand.
Okay, now this is a really common point of confusion, and it's super, super important to get right. The pump itself creates flow. That's the actual volume of oil it's moving. The pressure you see on your dashboard gauge, that's actually the resistance to that flow. Let's go back to our heart analogy. Flow is the amount of blood your heart is pumping out. Pressure is what you get when the doctor measures your blood pressure. They're connected, for sure, but they are not the same thing.
Now, just like not all engines are the same, well, not all engine hearts are created equal either. The main idea is always the same, but the engineering and the actual design changes based on what that specific engine needs, whether it's for durability, efficiency, or just fitting into a tight space.
So let's break down the main players you'll see out there. You've got your gear pumps. These are kind of the old school, tough-as-nails workhorses. Then you have rotor pumps. They're more compact, more efficient, and that's why there are most modern cars on the road today. And then there are vane pumps, which are known for being quiet, but honestly, you don't see them as often in cars. Different designs, same crucial job. Keep that oil moving.
And you know what? The technology here is still evolving. The latest and greatest thing is the variable pump. You can think of it as a smart pump. It's smart enough to know when the engine is just idling and doesn't need much oil, so it reduces the flow. But the second you hit the gas, it ramps right back up. This actually saves energy and can even improve your fuel economy. Pretty cool.
Okay, so what happens when this absolutely crucial part starts to weaken? Well, just like a human heart, it starts to give off warning signs. And knowing what to look for and listen for can be the difference between a simple fix and a totally dead engine.
Think of these as your engine's version of chest pains. You absolutely, positively cannot ignore them. That oil pressure warning light on your dash, that's the most obvious one. But also, use your ears. Listen for any new noises, like a knocking or ticking sound, which could mean metal is hitting metal. And keep an eye on your temperature gauge. If it's running hotter than usual, it might be because the oil isn't doing its job of carrying away heat.
But here's the good news. The really good news is that you actually have a ton of control over the health of your engine's heart. And it's not about doing some kind of complex, expensive repair. It's all about simple preventative care.
And this right here, this is public enemy number one.
We're talking about sludge. It's literally the cholesterol that clogs up your engine's arteries. As old oil breaks down, it gets thick, it gets sticky, and it clogs up the whole system. It basically starves the pump, and by extension, the entire engine, of the lubrication it desperately needs to survive.
So, what's the big takeaway? It's that your preventative care checklist is actually pretty simple. Regular oil changes with good, fresh oil are completely non-negotiable. Always use the right kind of oil for your car. Check your oil level often, and the second you see a warning light or hear a weird noise, pay attention to it. It really is that simple. Take care of the oil and you're taking care of the heart.
So, when it's all said and done, it comes back to this one simple question. That small hidden pump is the only thing standing between a healthy, happy engine and a 1,000-pound piece of scrap metal. Its lifeblood is the oil. Is yours clean? It might just be the most important question you can ask every single time you turn that key.